Hi, everyone. This is Leanne from Boulder Public Library. So glad you all made it today. Welcome. I wanted to give a big shout out to the Boulder Library Foundation. They sponsored this program in bringing the Rocky Mountain Raptor Program to you. And they also sponsor about 90% of all the library's free programs. So we're so grateful to them. Just a quick note about our Summer of Discovery. Some of you have signed up for that. It's all online this year. It's doing reading and doing activities. And this is actually the first week that you can pick up prizes. It's this week and then the last week in August. So you can, and everyone that signs up and participate gets a prize. So you can sign up this week and then you could go in the library and get your prizes in there. There's some pretty fun ones this year. Go to boulderlibrary.org/summer for more information. Okay, another note about our online programs. All of our online events are an extension of our library services, so our rules of conduct and policies still apply. And we are recording this performance. I'd like to read to you the mission statement for the Rocky Mountain Raptor Program. They inspire the protection and appreciation of raptors and the spaces where they live through excellence in rehabilitation, education, and research. Please welcome Jessica and Heidi and a golden eagle. Welcome.
Thanks so much, Leanne, for having us here. We are so excited to be back doing another live streaming opportunity with the Boulder Public Libraries. Of course, certainly wish we could have been there in person, but hey, we're making the best of everything we can. Hello, welcome to everybody who's here with us today. I'm so excited, so glad that you're here. My name is Jessica Miller. I am the Education and Outreach Coordinator with the Rocky Mountain Raptor Program. Joining me today is one of our wonderful volunteers, Heidi, and one of our ambassadors, a golden eagle. And today we're going to get a chance to learn a little bit about golden eagles since they are here in Colorado, what makes them so amazing because they have some wonderful, wonderful components to being a golden eagle. We'll get a chance to look at him up a little bit closer as well and look at some different parts of golden eagles to give you a chance to see them up close and personal. Along the way, if you have any questions or anything that you're curious about, feel free to go ahead and type that down, and that will either be read to me by Leanne or will be somehow gotten to me so I can answer that question for you. Of course, feel free to visit our website or Facebook page under the Rocky Mountain Raptor Program if you want to learn more about us and our organization. Now, as Leanne said, we work with raptors, which are also called birds of prey. So those two words, raptor, bird of prey, they mean the same thing. And raptors are a very unique group of birds made up of about 30 different species that live here in Colorado. And to differentiate a raptor from all of the other kinds of birds that live in our world, really what you need to look at the most is their beak and their feet. These are uniquely shaped, uniquely designed to raptors to allow them to hunt, to catch their prey and consume that prey. And so you'll notice our golden eagle over here is already enjoying his lunch. He was getting a little antsy and wondering why we hadn't fed him yet because he usually gets to eat first thing in the morning. So we decided to go ahead and let him eat since he was hungry. But as you watch him up close, you'll start to see how he uses his feet and uses his beak in order to consume that meal. And today he's enjoying one of the all-time favoriteest foods of golden eagles, and that's a prairie dog. If you've never gotten to see a prairie dog up close, I'm going to bring one here for you to get to see this beautiful specimen. Was legally harvested and taxidermied and donated to the Rocky Mountain Raptor Program by one of our great supporters to give us a chance to help connect all of the wonderful creatures that live in our world together. Because prairie dogs are really quite an important species. They are the main food source in the wild for golden eagles and ferruginous hawks. So incredibly important for them to, of course, have something to eat. They are also a main food source for one of North America's, now this one isn't real, one of North America's most endangered mammals, the black-footed ferret. They live and eat predominantly prairie dogs. And so a really critical, really important, what's known as a keystone species, really kind of holding the prairie together. And without these gorgeous little prairie dogs, we wouldn't have the beautiful golden eagles that we do. Now we're going to take a closer look at him. We're going to switch to a closer camera view and give you a chance to learn a little bit about this particular individual. This is, as I said, one of our ambassadors. He is a permanently disabled bird, as are all of the 20 ambassadors that the Rocky Mountain Raptor Program cares for. This golden eagle came into the Rocky Mountain Raptor Program in 1994 as a first-year bird. It was his very first summer of life. And for those of you who are watching from the Fort Collins area, if you've ever been up to Watson Lake, which is a great place for picnicking. There's some wonderful hiking. It's a fish hatchery, so you can't swim or boat or kayak or anything in the lake itself. But on the cliffs, these great, tall, gorgeous cliffs surrounding the lake, there are golden eagles nesting. And that is perfect nesting space for a golden eagle. Right on a cliff, up high, safe, secure. They have a commanding view of the valley to protect themselves. Although there really is very little that golden eagles have to fear, predominantly humans being their biggest threat. But that great big commanding view also affords them wonderful opportunity to look for their prey. Yes, they love a prairie dog, but a golden eagle is perfectly happy to eat just about anything that it can catch, from squirrels and rabbits to prairie dogs, perhaps even another bird. They might even go after something like a small dog or a house cat if they're in the area. These guys also love snakes. That's a great thing golden eagles will eat. The national flag of Mexico has a golden eagle on it, and it's holding a snake. That's a great food source. And so this guy here hatched at that cliffside nest. And when he was young, first summer, learning to fly, it's kind of like learning to ride a bike. It takes a little bit of practice. And so birds in their first year will have a little bit longer feathers in their wings and their tails. We sometimes refer to these as training wheels, helping the bird have a little bit more control as it's learning to fly. But as this gorgeous golden eagle was in his early learning how to fly stages, something happened. Either a great big gust of wind came out of nowhere and just blew him off course. He lost control somehow. We're not really sure, but he most likely ended up crashing right on into that cliff face below his nest. And he was found lying on the ground right below that cliff. Some wonderful hikers who were out there were the ones who located him. They called the Rocky Mountain Raptor Program, and that's what we do. We are here to respond to this kind of a situation. So we were able to rescue this eagle, bring him into our hospital for care and for treatment. Unfortunately, when he crashed into that cliff, he ended up breaking his right wing at the humerus bone, which is the same bone you have in your upper arm between your shoulder and your elbow. And that break happened real close to the elbow, or excuse me, to the shoulder. I got that backwards. Bird bones, if you know anything about them and are familiar with them, are actually hollow. They're not solid and heavy in the middle like human bones are, but rather they are completely, almost completely hollow in the middle with just a few kind of spider webby sorts of struts that help support the bone. We're going to switch back because I want to show you what that looks like. We have a great example here of what that bone of a bird might look like. So I'm going to see if this will pick up. It may not. Let's give it a shot. I'll take it out. So this is the humeral bone off of a bird. I don't know if you can see. There we go. Can you see right here? All these little, they almost look kind of spider webby. They're catching the shadows a little bit down here. Sometimes things don't translate well on camera. But they have this great kind of spider web of support structure inside the bone to really make them strong, even though they're hollow. But of course, they can break. And when they break, they don't break nice and easy like human bones do. They shatter into multiple pieces. So putting a broken bird bone back together is a lot like trying to do a jigsaw puzzle with all your pieces turned over. It's really hard to do. He did have surgery done at Colorado State University. The vets over there do a lot of surgeries for the Rocky Mountain Raptor program. They're a wonderful supporter and collaborator with us. So we get great opportunities to help work with the vets at CSU and provide training opportunities and learning opportunities for vet students and interns and people who are learning and want to know more about than cats and dogs. They can come here and learn some cool stuff. But they did surgery at the university. He actually has a metal plate in his wing right up here close to the shoulder that was put in to help support that bone while it healed. But unfortunately, despite the best efforts, as I said, raptor bones, bird bones being hollow, very difficult to repair. And so he did not recover full use of that right wing. And if we look at him up closer again, take another look at that right wing, and you might see how it kind of sticks out away from his body differently than his left. The left one is fine. It works just the way that wing should, but that right one does not, and he can no longer fly. And of course, if a predatory bird can't fly, he can't hunt. And a golden eagle like this one that cannot hunt would not be able to survive on its own in the wild. So he was deemed non-releasable and has been an ambassador with the Rocky Mountain Raptor Program for 25 years now. And 25 years is a wonderful time to get to spend with a golden eagle. And we expect that we may get to spend as many as 30, 35, 40, 50 years is not out of the realm of possibility. Now, they don't live that long in the wild. 25 to 30 is a pretty typical wild lifespan, because life in the wild is very difficult. And many first year animals, like this golden eagle here, suffer a lot of challenges because there's so much to learn about how to live in the wild. And the mortality rate just across the board for first year wildlife is pretty high. But once they make it past that first year and they've perfected all of their skills, they can live 25, 30, 35 years in the wild. Now, an animal that's in human care has a lot less threats and challenges. This golden eagle doesn't have to worry about going out and hunting his own food because we provide that for him. He doesn't have to worry about weather events damaging him in any way because we provide protection for him. He has a great healthcare plan, probably better than my own. But we provide everything that these ambassadors need while they're with us. So we may be able to double or even triple that 25 to 30 year lifespan of a wild golden eagle. Now I see we have a question here from Sasha. What do we do if we notice an injured raptor out in the wild? Sasha, that's a great question, and I'm really glad you asked that. And it's an important question because that is why the Rocky Mountain Raptor Program exists, to help injured raptors. But we rely on people like you to let us know when and where these injuries occur. So if you're ever out and about, I don't know, taking a hike, picnic, a drive somewhere, maybe even just in your own backyard, you don't necessarily have to go out far, and you come across a raptor that you think might be injured, the best thing that you can do to help care for that individual is to call us. Most everybody has cell phones in our pockets. I know I feel weird when I leave the home and leave my cell phone behind because I'm so used to having it with me. But this means that we can get to that injured individual faster. We run a 24-hour a day, 7-day a week emergency phone number. I'll give that to you. We'll see if we can get it up in the chat for all of you to have as well. So that number, if you guys, someone can type that into the chat, since my hands aren't over by the computer, is 970-222-0322. 24 hours a day. Call us, and we can advise you further as to what might need to happen. That is really the best thing that you can do if you ever come across a raptor you think might be in need of help. And that's what happened to this golden eagle. When he was injured, somebody called us. For those of you who are just joining us, we are here today from the Rocky Mountain Raptor Program, a nonprofit based in Fort Collins, Colorado, that works to rescue and rehabilitate injured raptors or birds of prey like this golden eagle, who came into our facility 25 years ago with a broken right wing from probably crashing into a cliff face as he was learning to fly in his first summer. Now you'll see Heidi spraying him, misting him lightly down with some water. Did you notice just a moment before he had his beak kind of open? It's a little hot. We're in a warehouse. It's a hot June day. And so he was actually panting. If you have a cat or a dog at home and on a hot day, they're going to open up their mouth, they're going to pant to be able to help heat transfer, put the warm air out and bring in hopefully cooler air to help them cool down. And raptors and birds do the same thing. They don't sweat like people do, but they pant to cool down. And so by misting him with this water, that kind of helps to draw some of the heat out and cool the air a bit around him to help keep him from overheating. Now does he have some food still left at his feet? He's got a little bit of food left down there. He's been enjoying his daily meal. Right now he's eating some rabbit, which is definitely something that golden eagles will eat in the wild. Seems like he's kind of lost his interest in it. But golden eagles, like all types of raptors, eagles, owls, hawks, falcons, vultures, for example, are predators. And they're carnivores, which means they're going to eat other animals. Rabbit is definitely something that golden eagles enjoy. Snakes, squirrels, jackrabbits, young foxes, prairie dogs. For those of you who didn't get to see, we have a great example. If you've never seen a prairie dog up close, here's what they look like. That's a pretty typical size. So, what have we got? About 9-10 inches long is what they look like. Great common food for golden eagles. These guys are so important. So important. Question here. What is the best time of day to observe a raptor in the wild? Well, for all wildlife, not just raptors, but including raptors, the best time of day to go out and enjoy them in your neighborhood or anywhere in your state that you might be out recreating is around sunrise or sunset. Middle of the day, it gets hot. And I don't know about you, but I don't like to go for a long hike in the middle of the day when it's boiling hot. I'd rather wait till it cools off. Well, the animals feel the same way. They would rather be out and about when it's cooler. So a couple of hours before sunrise or before sunset to an hour or so afterwards is your best opportunity to go out and look for wildlife. Now, if you want to see a golden eagle in particular, some great places are going to be a little bit further in the eastern part of Colorado, because golden eagles are plains birds. They like the big, wide open territory without any trees, places where the prairie dogs and the snakes are going to live. So big, wide open fielded areas You'll see them soaring. These guys are what's known as a bootio. It's a broad-winged soaring bird. So they're going to lock that big 6.5 foot wingspan. They're going to lock those wings out and just soar on the currents. Big, long, lazy circles looking for something delicious to eat. They're just brown. From a distance, they're going to look really black when you see them up in the sky. Let's get in closer on this guy here and take a look at some of the gorgeous colors that these golden eagles have. So they're mostly chocolatey brown, but if you look at the back of his neck, and if he moves his head around, we might get a slightly better view of it. But if you look at the back of his neck, you'll notice that the feathers there on this golden eagle are not the same chocolate brown color, but more golden colored. And that's why they're called golden eagles. For those beautiful golden colored feathers, there we go, on the back of the neck. Pretty much chocolatey brown all over. A black beak. Look at the shape of that beak, though. Hooked and curved. He's got a little bit of leftover food. He needs a napkin there. But that hooked, curved beak for ripping and tearing up his meal. That's the very defining characteristic of a raptor, is that hooked, curved beak. So definitely something to look for. Big eyes. And can you see those eye ridges poking out from the feathers? It looks almost like a dark gray streak sticking out just above the eye. Look at that. Doesn't that give him such a fierce appearance? And believe me, golden eagles are fierce, fierce hunters. So if you ever get a chance, I know YouTube has some great videos of golden eagles in the wild hunting. If you want to go take a look and see how fierce they can be, they're fast, and despite the big size, they are quick and agile. Look at that. So those ridges that you see right there above his eyes, those are acting like sunglasses. They're acting like the brim of a baseball cap to keep the bright glare of the sunlight out of the bird's eyes so that they are better able to see and to hunt. Big eyes, all the better to see things with. Golden eagles are just amazing, and it is one of the many species of raptors that the Rocky Mountain Raptor Program gets to care for. I'm always very privileged on the days that I get to work with this individual. Heidi, I rather imagine you kind of feel that way too. Yeah. It's remarkable that we get the opportunity to earn the trust of these individuals. Um, Remember, in the wild, a raptor like this, or really any kind of wild animal, getting close to them, like you see Heidi here standing right up next to the eagle. And of course, he's standing on her glove. This is because he is a trained individual who we have worked with to help him build some trust in us as volunteers and as staff with the Rocky Mountain Raptor Program. A wild golden eagle, getting this close to them probably won't happen. They won't let you, but it does put you and that animal at risk. So remember, for the safety and the love of the wildlife that shares our beautiful state, remember to always give them a nice, respectful distance. And I know a lot of us here, especially if you're talking about the big, charismatic creatures like moose or bear or elk. I love to go up into Rocky Mountain National Park in the fall when the elk start their bugling, and they're just fascinating to see. Um, a lot of people are told, and we often hear, don't get too close. Well, it's hard to know exactly how close is too close. And the best way that you can figure out with the animal that you're enjoying, how close is too close for that animal? If that animal stops what it's doing and changes its behavior, and it's sudden, it's abrupt, say you're looking at an eagle like this, who's eating something, who suddenly stops eating and looks at you. That's a change. You're too close. they're registering you and saying, should I be worried? Give them no reason to worry by taking maybe 5 steps back and watch from there. That will give you the most time to sit and enjoy that beautiful animal while keeping yourself safe and that animal safe as well. So do keep that in mind. So now, as he steps down onto that perch, we get a great view of his feet. Look at the talons, the claws that are down there. Let's switch back to our other view because I have some other feet that I can show you up even a little bit closer to give you an idea of those weapons of an eagle. So here we go. These are the feet of a golden eagle. Look at those talons. These are the primary weapons that raptors use in order to hunt with. See how sharp they are? This is what they use to catch and kill those prairie dogs or squirrels or jackrabbits or snakes or whatever they might need to catch for dinner. This is what they use to defend themselves, of course. Now, when we work with the individuals, you'll notice here Heidi is wearing a big leather glove, and that is to protect her hand against those weapons. But with a relationship of trust, he doesn't have any reason to try to defend himself against her. But we do always take any safety precaution that we possibly can. So the Rocky Mountain Raptor Program, as I mentioned before, is a nonprofit. So we are extremely grateful to the Boulder Library Foundation for hosting us here today. Their financial support allows us to provide our care that we do for both our 20 ambassadors as well as our patients. And we have about 30 patients in-house right now, individuals with broken bones, with head trauma, with unfortunately, we just got in a great horned owl that had been shot. And that happens, unfortunately. It is illegal to do so. And it's rare that a raptor will survive that, but there's a chance with this one. So we're going to try to do everything we can to save that great horned owl with the goal of getting these 30-ish patients that we have today back out into the wild. Now, as a nonprofit, any support that we receive will always go directly back into providing care for the patients and the ambassadors. So to learn more about the work that we do, the patients that we're caring for, how you can help, visit our Facebook page or our website at Rocky Mountain Raptor Program and learn a little bit more about us. Bear in mind, we are doing lots of these live streams, ones that are hosted, such as today's with the library. But you can also visit us on Wednesday afternoons on our Facebook Live to see and learn more about us, the work that we do, and Raptors. Now, if you have any other questions about this gorgeous golden eagle or the Rocky Mountain Raptor Program, feel free to go ahead, type those in. Leanne, do we have any waiting at the moment?
We don't have any at the moment, but maybe
Okay.
we just one more minute.
Okay. Well, if any others come through, I'd certainly love to answer those for you. Before we go, I want to give you a chance also to take a look at the skull and see that beak here. Let me get a hold so you can see it. So this is a golden eagle skull. I'm going to hold this up. Whoops. There we go. My camera's backwards. So you can see the beak is actually part of the skull. That's what makes it so strong, because it has all the strength of the skull behind it. It's not something that can just break off. It grows as part of the skull. There's also these gigantic cavities here for the eyes. Obviously, eyesight, very important. Now, remember, these parts and pieces, the birds themselves are federally protected. So that means unless you have permits to do so, you cannot have them or any part of the raptors. We have the permits that allow us to care for our ambassadors and our patients to have these parts and pieces that I shared with you. So just kind of bear that in mind. Now, it's been a wonderful time sharing this gorgeous golden eagle with all of you. Thank you, everyone, so much for coming out, for supporting the library, and I hope everyone enjoys the rest of your wonderful afternoon.
Thank you so much, Jessica and Heidi and beautiful eagle. Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Leanne. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.